Welcome back everybody to Forza Motorsport, and today we are dealing with the 20th anniversary tour, which is basically here to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Forza series. And yeah, this first championship is Spirit of Forza Motorsport, so this is based around the first game, and as you can see, each championship is based around every subsequent game as well, with their cover car featuring prominently to the point that we end up getting a new Acura NSX Type S, I think it's called. So yeah, that's going to be a pretty cool car to finally get our hands on. And yeah, there is also a new open class tour as well, so all of these are now open. Well, they will be open at some point. And yeah, you also get a Nissan Z Nismo as a reward car as well. So yeah, let's take a look at this first championship. As per usual, we will do 2 races in this episode and 2 in the next.
For 20 years, Forza has been fulfilling the fantasies of automotive enthusiasts around the globe, putting them behind the wheel of some of the greatest cars ever produced. A special few have graced the covers of Forza Motorsport, forever seared into Forza's legacy. The NSX, the Fair Lady Z, the R8, the 458 Italia, the P1. Each redefined their segment and put their competition on notice. And like Forza Motorsport, they combine technology, performance, and passion. So whether it's your first lap or a nostalgic return, hit the track and rediscover the thrill of these epic machines, where dreams are driven.
So yeah, can't believe it's been 20 years since the first game. First racing game I actually played, to be fair. So yeah, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to just jump back out and buy the car itself, because it is only one we can actually choose from. Because we have also been given a free livery as a gift, so check your gift tab if you haven't already and it will be in there. So yeah, we can buy the car at the moment. As you can see, it's got a little bit of a price drop on it as well. And yeah, those are the stats, which are fairly good, to be honest. Mid-engine wheel drive, of course, as well. Plenty of power from its 3.2 litre V6. 290 horsepower and 225 pound-feet of torque. Can't remember if we've actually had this version in a lot of other Forza games. I know we have had the NSX-R GT and the previous NSX-R from the 90s, but I can't for the life of me remember if we've had this version. So if we haven't, after I check, I'll probably do a review of this. So yeah, 290 horsepower though, and weighing in at only 2,800 pounds is not very much at all. So yeah, let's get it. And then we'll stick the livery on it as well. So let's get I don't even know where these are. Oh, it's cool that you can actually get your designs from Forza Horizon 5. Ah yeah, there we go. So load FM1 20th anniversary, changes the base colour as well. So yeah, cool looking livery, to be honest. Let's take a quick run around the car and take a look at it. If it'll let us. I don't think it will actually. We will get there eventually. Skip all the way over to Honda. And there we go. Pretty nice livery, to be honest. Nice and tasteful. Nothing too flashy. It's able to help set itself apart regardless. So yeah. But even if we have had this car in a previous Forza game, I'm guarantee I've not reviewed one before. So yeah, I probably will give it a review now that it's in the game. So let's go back into career, and yeah, our first race is at Fujimi Kaido, which yeah is a pretty formidable track. More than 10 miles, well over 100 corners. We've done this already, we don't need to see it again. Right, so yeah, only the 1 lap, but it's going to be interesting to see what we can actually do on this track in terms of you know, actually racing against other cars, because I've only ever been on my own on this track so far in this game. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, still 0 to 16, 4.6 seconds, 0 to 111.2, and it'll do 177 miles an hour, which is not bad at all, especially for something with less than 300 horsepower. So yeah, this was always considered the friendly entry-level supercar, even though obviously it's got nowhere near the kind of supercar levels of power. But it was Honda's attempt to be the cheaper, more practical, easier to use Ferrari in a lot of ways. Obviously it didn't really succeed at that, especially since the car itself was quite expensive, especially in the later years when it was getting up towards £70,000, which is obviously quite a lot. That's about 911 turbo, I think, kind of money at the time, so quite expensive. So unfortunately it wasn't hugely successful. Well, it's good to see the fuel thing is still broken. Why do they never sort things out when you want them to? Just whack it right the way down, maybe it'll glitch it out, say we need one pit stop. No? You're just gonna completely brake on me? I'm pressing A. Hello? Come on. I have no idea what it was doing. Yep, we don't need 6 laps worth. Right, so we finally got our fuel out. I know no idea why they still haven't sorted that glitch out. I do believe they've sorted out the rewind glitch though, in terms of when you rewind the sound quality goes way down. Or the volume of the sound, should I say, goes way down. Guess we'll find out if we ever make a mistake and we need to rewind. Higher revving V6 in this, as you can see. I believe we're going in reverse on this one. Maybe? I can't remember, to be honest. It's going to be difficult to overtake here, I think, because these roads are not that wide. They're only 2-lane roads. Bunch of large American cars in the way as well. Now this is a circuit that's far more about your handling than your outright power, although good acceleration in these short sections is helpful. This is why I also don't like racing on Nürburgring Nordschleife, because it's the same problem with this, where there's a lot of narrow parts and there's very few opportunities to overtake. Just try and bully your way through. Somebody had a bit of oversteer there. Right, finally gained places over where we started. So yeah, this is one reason why my excitement for this track being added to the game wasn't ecstatic. I certainly was happy for the people that wanted it in the game and have wanted this to return to the Forza series for many a year, but But yeah, I wasn't ecstatic about it as far as the racing track goes, because it just isn't that great for racing on, I find. Oh dear. And yeah, it's just simply because it's too narrow in areas and there's not many overtaking spots. It's great for drifting if you're into that, and single car, you know, time attack kind of racing as well is pretty good as well, but for competitive racing with several opponents on the same track at the same time, it's just not that great. Done a stunning job on it though in terms of the graphics and the look of the environments. Oh dear. So I was generally surprised by how much of this I remembered, considering how long it's been since I actually raced on it. I do miss these kind of tracks though on Forza games, because even though they might not be great for racing on, they are really fun to just drive on your own. Whether or not you're going full bore or not, I find. I mentioned in my Toyota Mark II review where I mentioned that I initially drove that car on this track at a spirited pace, not outright, you know, hitting the rev limiter and getting up to high rates of speed at every opportunity, but just enjoying the car, enjoying the noise of the car, enjoying the environment that I'm driving in, and just, yeah, taking my time with it. And I actually drove on the correct side of the road for the majority of that time as well. So yeah, it's just a really rather enjoyable track just to take your time, to be honest. It's probably the only track on the game that is like that. Although it's not the only track in Forza history that is like that. I remember having that kind of same kind of experience with the Amalfi Coast circuit as well. Don't know if anyone remembers that, but that was a really rather enjoyable track just to enjoy on as well. Much like this one, to be honest, narrow roads, plenty of switchback hairpins and such, but it's just really nice to just drive on and just take your time in. I doubt that will make a return though. I'd be surprised if anyone else is as nostalgic for that track as, you know, for this one. Or even half as much, to be honest. I don't think we're going to be getting a podium or anything here. If we can catch up to 8th at the least, that'd be alright. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm still getting used to this circuit. End of the day, I might have remembered parts of it, but I don't remember all of the braking zones and such. So a lot of these corners can be quite deceptive. A lot of different kind of camber, there's a lot of inclines and declines around. Oh yeah. And you can suddenly gain speed because you've got gravity on your side all of a sudden, because you've got a lot of drop-offs. Shame they've not brought more cars back from the prior games though, to be honest, because the likes of the first two of these Forza Motorsport games had a lot of modded or pre-modded vehicles added to the game to bump up the numbers of the cars on the game itself. Because way back then, they really didn't have as much access to cars as they do now. Because they were unproven games, they were competing against long-established games like the Gran Turismo series, so I highly doubt they had the same level of, influence in terms of getting cars to be scanned and shot and recorded. Well, we are going to rewind for that. I haven't done before just because I was like enjoying the pace we were keeping up at, but that's kind of disastrous that was. Has the sound come back? Yeah, I think it did. Suddenly made up positions. Can we make up one more before we hit the finish line? Oh, nearly. Drag race to the finish line. Spree has just that bit more power than we do, along with those turbochargers, which are quite useful. But yeah, there we go.
Good work out there.
Our first race at Fuji Mikado. I'm not entirely convinced that it's a great racing track for competing against cars on the track at the same time, but still, it was enjoyable enough. So let's get to the second race, but before that, got to get to the upgrade screen and see where we can improve this car that bit better. Right, so here we are at the upgrade screen. So yeah, the car is pretty much a really good one in a lot of ways, but it also has some flaws, like it's not got the most amount of power. There is some handling issues here and there in terms of, especially in terms of braking, as you can see, so we'll bump those up. We'll get slightly better springs, we'll get better tyres. So it's all about slightly fettling this car, because at the end of the day we don't have a huge amount of PI to play with, and we'll give it some extra grip with those street tyres. We'll knock out a bit of weight with the driveline down, and then we'll concentrate on the power side of things. So we'll bump it up to a 3.4. Get the air filter in, I think, because that gives us some extra torque, which we kind of need. Looking for a somewhat even number, to be honest. Yeah, 345 will do. I guess that was a bit optimistic. Flywheel means we can rev the engine easier, and it also reduces weight, and it gives us more acceleration. Yep, that'll do on that. Can we get these in, sneak these in? Do a little bit. Yeah, knock a bit more weight out. Not a huge amount, but still. Less weight is always handy in a car that is probably still going to be out horsepowered in by a lot of cars on this championship. Still, 345 horsepower while weighing less is only a good thing, and as you can see that improves our 0 to 60 time to 3.836 seconds, so nearly 0.8 of a second quicker, 0 to 109.202 seconds, so about 2 seconds quicker, and we can now do 188 mile an hour, which is about 11 mile an hour faster. So yeah, and we're at Maple Valley, the full circuit for 5 laps. So yeah, this should be a bit more competitive than the previous one because we won't be getting jammed up in narrow sections. Obviously this has some-ish narrow bits, but and certainly areas where overtaking really isn't advisable, but
Maple Valley's Farmhouse
yeah,
Carousel has multiple racing line
it's a lot
options,
easier to overtake
depending
here than
on
it
how
will be at
fast you
Fuji
enter from
Mikado,
the
that's for
front
sure.
straight.
Please work this time, fuel. Yes. Right, let's see if we can do better than 7th this time round. Certainly have more power on our side and therefore more acceleration and more chances for overtaking. So it feels a bit grippier up front as well. The car did seem to have someone to steer on the previous race. Oh, we're just eating everybody up here. So we've got a Nissan and a Ferrari up front. We've got a Nissan up front. This is the kind of circuit where a car like this is going to excel. It has high levels of grip, and it's not really losing that grip, even at speed. B-class car, this feels way more capable than that. Feels more like an A-class car in a lot of ways, to be honest. Especially in the way that it has a high level of grip around these corners. Which I guess just shows how well done the chassis is on this car. Obviously the tyres in stock form could be better, but just improving those have really worked wonders with this vehicle. We didn't improve them a massive amount either. We only winded them once on the front and the rear, and we only gave it street tyres. You know, there are no semi-slicks or slicks on this car, and yet just doing those few little things have transformed this in corners at the very least. Might have the most power here, but little in the way of weight. You wouldn't think it. Now, I don't think it's entirely down to the car that I am where I am, because the AI do seem to struggle with this kind of circuit. It's kind kind of circuits where there's a lot of high speed bits.
Time penalty is 0.8 seconds.
Didn't think I cut it that much. Yeah, well, there's a lot of high speed corners where you could or should probably technically brake in certain respects, but you don't really need to. It's more about letting off the throttle. And I don't really think the AI are capable of just letting off the throttle. They do seem to prioritise braking more than anything. Even when it's a corner that really doesn't deserve it or need it. Most corners that do have a little, well on this circuit anyway, that have a little bit of a red bit with the arrow, they only really need you to let off the throttle, they don't really need you to brake. And that one does, but if it wasn't going so fast in the first place, just letting off the throttle there would have done. Let's just try that again, let's just let off the throttle a little bit early, yeah, there we go. Just letting off the throttle there. We did not have to brake, and we only lost about 10 or 13 miles an hour in the speed, whereas we would have lost a lot more than that had we braked. So yeah, the AI just doesn't seem to be capable of doing that kind of thing. It's like up here, we saw the Ferrari on the first lap braking there. No need to brake, especially in a Ferrari with a giant rear wing on the back. So yeah, it's just not really all that needed, to be honest. So yeah, but as you can see, you can still get wallops of understeer if you push the car too hard. And we're going a bit too fast. So yeah, we've not really lost we've not lost any places, and at the end of the day we've lost a little bit of time as well. So it's all good on that front. When I am in a first place position like this with a reasonable lead, I do like to test out the car to see what it can do for future reference. It's always handy to know what the car's capable of. Now obviously not every other circuit is going to be like this one in terms of the grip and the braking zones and how much speed can be carried through a corner and such, but it's still nice to know that this car can still suffer from understeer when you push it too hard, even with those new tyres. And obviously the suspension isn't full race suspension, so there is a possibility that it will also have some suspension issues as well. Oh dear, there we go again. Pushed it a little bit too hard. Nissan is still about a second behind, even with a couple of mistakes. Clearly not massive enough for them to get up to us or get past us. Yeah, this is a pretty great car, to be honest. I imagine you can upgrade it in other ways to make it perhaps even better, but the way I've upgraded it suits me more than doing it another way, I feel. Obviously if I had more PI to play with, I would change other elements about it. I'd probably make it even lighter, to take even more advantage of that power that we gave it. And probably the gearbox and the clutch could do with replacing. At the end of the day, I doubt they were meant to deal with an extra 55 horsepower.
Lap.
Also, for something that, like I said, is undoubtedly not the most powerful car here, still able to get up to nearly 150 on that finished start line straight is pretty good. Yeah, this is easily one of the more convincing wins we've had. Only took until about halfway through the first lap, but then we were ahead. But like I said, I think it's a mix of the AI not dealing with a track like this all well, and this car just being truly phenomenal. Even in the hands of an idiot like me, it's still able to get around this track reasonably fast. Maybe it is time to look up in the difficulty for the AI. But I say that and then we probably won't never come near a podium again. It's tough to decide on that front sometimes. I found that with previous Forza games where you're on a difficulty that has some competitiveness to it, but you can sometimes easily win and then you slightly up it and then you never get near a win at all. Which is somewhat annoying, I guess. Here we come, final corner. Way too fast for most cars, but plenty fast enough for us. And there's a convincing first place win, if I ever saw one. So yeah, that's going to do us wonders for points overall, and as you can see our lap times are pretty good. Looks like the quickest clean lap, although there was a quicker dirty lap from 7th place. But still, points wise, that has done us wonders. That's shot us up 4 places into a 3rd place position with 46 points. 3 points ahead of 4th, and a massive 12 points ahead of 5th. We're only 2 points behind 2nd and 3 points behind 1st. So yeah, still everything to play for in this championship, but it's been really fun to see what this car can do. If I haven't reviewed this version of the NSX before, then I will definitely do so at some point. But nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.